Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Balanced Body podcast. I know it's been a long time since my last episode, but I'm going to start up with my podcast again. And today we have a very special guest. Her name is Imani, and she actually used to be one of my old colleagues. She is a fellow massage therapist, and she also studied lymphatic massage. So I'm super excited to hear about your journey as a massage therapist, your career goals, all of that. And I think it's great to just interview you and kind of like hear different perspectives on massage therapists and different career journeys and goals. And I love talking to you. I love hearing your aspirations and where you want to be in the future. So, first off, introduce yourself, and I want to know why you want to become a massage therapist as well.
Before the interview, I want to give a quick shout out to my favorite jewelry brand, Luisa. I've mentioned this brand before. I absolutely love it so much. It feels luxurious, it's long-lasting, water-resistant, and sustainable. These necklaces I've picked out are my absolute favorite. They're super dainty, elegant, and you can wear it with any outfit. And they're having a massive sale today for Black Friday, with up to 35% off these high-quality pieces. So go now and get yours from my link below before they run out of stock. All right, now back to the podcast.
Yeah, so thank you so much for that introduction. That was beautiful. So my name is Imani. I originally got into massage therapy because I was doing office jobs that I just wasn't happy with, honestly. I had been doing office work for, oh my gosh, years, like right after high school. So maybe like 5+ years. And when the pandemic hit, I realized that I just wasn't happy doing that type of work. It just felt like I was going to work. It didn't feel like I was doing anything that I felt passionate about or anything. So when the pandemic hit, I was like, you know what? I feel like I want to make a pivot. I don't know exactly what I want to do, but I want to do something differently. So I decided to take the chance and go to massage school, not knowing if I'd even like it. But I thought to myself, if I don't like it, at least I'll know how to give like a decent massage. So I guess that could be like the plus side of it if it doesn't pan out the way that I wanted it to. But it ended up going amazing. I love it. And I feel like this is my life's work that I feel like passionate about coming to do every day. So now it's really exciting that I got to get into something that I love so much.
That's awesome. Yeah, I kind of relate to you with the whole office work stuff as well. I don't know. I feel like for massage therapists, it's like we need to be like, we kind of have an entrepreneurial spirit, first of all.
Mhm.
It's just very like we need to be like on our feet and like it it can't just be the same routine thing. Like,
Yeah, like more creatives, honestly, in a
yeah,
different way. Like massage can be very creative, almost like dancing or um, creating art. Like everybody does massage a bit differently. We all have our own styles. A bit of our personality is put into it. So yeah, no, I definitely feel like office work is very like cookie cutter. Like we're in a box with things, but
yeah,
massage kind of be what you make it.
exactly. Yeah, and I feel like when we talked last time, it's like you have so many goals. Like I know one time you wanted to travel,
Mhm.
travel like either the US or the world and be a
Mhm.
traveling massage therapist. I don't know if that's still one
Yeah.
of your goals. Is it?
Yeah, it definitely is. I want to travel and be able to work in different places, work/live in different places.
Mhm.
So that's definitely a goal of mine. I'm still getting my certifications this year. I think last year I was also getting certifications as well. Yeah, I was. I was getting my lymphatic certification. This year I've transitioned into working in more clinical environments. So when I was working with you, we were working at a spa,
Mhm.
and that was fun because I started off my first 2 years in massage, year and a half in massage working in spa environments. And that was really nice because I got a large number of people to really get a good amount of experience. I've always heard, and I've finally started realizing for myself just this year, a few months ago, that the clinical environments, as educational as they can be, and as much as I've learned working in clinical environments, they sometimes they're usually slower paced, and so there's not as big of a number of people coming in and that will be on your table. Yeah, I definitely want to still travel. My intention is to travel, and also like live and work in certain places for a few months. I do have my little list of my travel places that I want to go first, but for now I'm still getting my certifications. I recently got my lymphatic certification last year, and that was a really quick certification. I just got the manual lymphatic certification, and now I'm working on getting my corrective exercise certification.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay. Because you want to like do training too, right? Was that you like
Um,
well training or
Technically, yeah. Well, I want to be able to legally prescribe, because that's what they call it, right? Prescribe exercises and stretches. And the course allows me to have more information on exercise. So I am technically doing a personal training course before actually getting into the corrective exercise course. But it's actually been really interesting because there is a large psychological component to exercise, especially for people that have never exercised. There's a huge psychological component to exercise that I think most people are aware of, but it's just nice to have that information when getting into an environment where I am going to be talking about exercise for people that some people have never worked out in their life, or they have worked out, but just kind of getting into a different sector of working out where it's more focused on postural correction and things like that. I think it's helpful to have that information. So I should be done with that course by spring.
Oh wow, dang. Okay. So where do you find these certifications?
So actually, I found out about the corrective exercise certification through the clinic that I'm working at right now.
Oh wow. Okay. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So you're not working at the lymphatic place anymore, right?
Well, no, that's the same clinic.
Oh,
So
that
the
is
clinic we do,
okay.
yeah, we do a lot of different type of work. We do post-surgical injury recovery. We mix in a little relaxation with just more of the specific clinical work. I guess just body work. It fits under the umbrella of kind of whatever you need, but different therapists there have different certifications. I'm actually taking my course through NASM, which is a popular personal training platform, but they do have a special section specifically for corrective exercise, which is more about evening out postural imbalances that can create dysfunction and pain in the body.
Wow. Okay. So do you like that more
Yeah,
than
so
spa massage?
I yes and no. There are so many things that I still miss about the spa environment. I've always said that even as I was leaving the spa environment, I was like, I'm just gonna miss, like how beautiful it smells and like the dim low lighting, and like everything is just very relaxing, and it's meant to tend to the senses, which I really appreciate. In the clinical environment that I work in, at least, there's not as much fluff. So there's like no heated towels and essential oils and stuff like that. But it does allow for more conversations around a client's treatment, which is extremely beneficial in cases where people really do need um, more intentional care, and there's more of a need for conversations on how they're feeling, what their day is looking like, how they're sleeping, any injuries and surgeries that they've had, and it just calls for a longer intake, and then also even more conversation while on the table. When you're in the spa, I mean, everything is, like I said, meant to tend to your senses, so you kind of want to take a nap or just really take in all of the other things that are meant to appeal to your senses, and really take that and enjoy that experience rather than having this conversation the whole time, half or the whole time that you're receiving the body work, and that can kind of take away from the extra stuff that you're paying for at the spa.
Right, right. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting because like I know that working in a clinical setting, I know it's very like fulfilling and also effective on the body, whereas like I know that spa massage is too, but you're
Mhm.
doing so much more. Like you have more knowledge on the body, I feel, right?
Mhm.
When you work
Mhm.
in a clinical setting, right?
Yeah, and I think even people, in spa settings can have a lot of information, but I think, and I think a lot of people that work in spa settings have a lot of valuable information that can be offered to the client. But sometimes I've noticed that even having a certain amount of information that I can offer to a client, some clients appreciate it, and some clients they just want to relax, like they just want to take a nap while they're getting a massage, or they just want to like feel the hot stones and like listen to the music and smell the essential oils. They don't necessarily care to hear about why their shoulder is, acting a little funny. They're just like, I just want a little deep pressure there, and I just want to like decompress.
Yes.
So I think it's just expectations, like client expectations, are going to be different. In most cases, when people are going into the spa, they're looking more for an experience rather than information on how to heal or correct certain things within their body. Yeah.
And I feel like you have such a teacher vibe to you. Like whenever we used to work together, like, and, you know, at the couples room and all that stuff, you'd always
Yeah.
be talking to your clients about what to do, like what not stretches, but like you talk to them about like how to
Like
heal.
what I was feeling and stuff like that,
Yeah,
like within their body, like, oh, I noticed that this felt like
yes,
this, or like,
exactly. Or like your pecs are tight, so you know, maybe like try to stretch your pecs or whatever.
mhm.
Like that.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that because it shows how passionate you are about this form of therapy.
Yeah, thank you. I am. I think that was also when I learned. So some people appreciated it because some people have even told me that I've worked with that they were appreciative of the information that I was giving them. And I would also explain to them that this isn't necessarily the best environment because, like we were saying, it's more meant for the experience. Things are a lot more structured time wise, so we can like get the next person in and out, and it's not necessarily made for us to like have this like 10-minute conversation and then get into the body work. It's meant for us to like, hey, like what areas do you want to have work done, what areas do you not want to have work done, let's get you on the table and then let's get you out as soon as we're done, right? The information that I was giving wasn't it just basically wasn't the always like the most appropriate environment to be giving them all of this information.
Yeah.
But like you said, I am passionate about it, and it's fun for me to like talk about these things. But I also feel like when I got this information about my own body, I felt so much more hopeful about not falling apart, because I feel like there were times when I didn't know about, you know, anatomy and things like that, that
Yeah.
certain things would happen and I'm like, oh my gosh, first it's my shoulder, now it's my elbow, now it's my neck, oh my gosh, now it's my knee, my hip, and I was just like, am I falling apart? Like I'm too young to be falling apart. And as I started learning more and more about anatomy and how a lot of these things are very connected, I felt very hopeful that, you know, I was able to heal these things within my body and I didn't have to necessarily succumb to the idea that I think a lot of people subscribe to, is that as you get older, you just essentially fall apart, which is not the case. Being a massage therapist, and I'm sure you can account for this as well. We work with a wide variety of people, and sometimes, you know, a 60-year-old person, a 60-year-old woman can come in one day that looks a certain way and has the independence of freedom, like free movement and things like that. And another 60-year-old woman can come in that made completely different choices within her life and took, you know, different avenue with her health, and has a completely different reality with like freedom of movement or lack of movement, and pain and dysfunction within their body. Same age group, but they just made different choices. You know what I mean? So like I was saying, I just felt like getting that information allowed me to not have to subscribe to the idea that as we get older, we just fall apart. And that's just what life is. Like, that's just what getting older is, you know?
Yeah, it definitely shows you that you can really take care of your body. Like when you're a massage therapist,
Mm-hmm.
like it's not just, you know, getting massages every month, but it's also the exercise, it's your diet, and you don't have to fall
Mm-hmm.
60. Like you can
Mm-hmm.
try, you can really like do your best to be as healthy as possible. So like what made you even want to start like lymphatic drainage massage in the first place? Because
Mm-hmm.
we were just doing spa, we were talking blah blah blah, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, I want to start doing lymphatic massage.
Yeah.
What was the spark?
Uh, Honestly, it was, I didn't know very much about it. So I knew that it was something that was popular and gaining popularity.
Mm.
Um,
Oh, it was
just
like
in,
surgeries,
or,
right?
what was I saying?
With
What was
like
that?
surgeries and like, you know, all that stuff.
Well, yeah, so I knew it was something that was gaining popularity, and I was like, okay, there's a little interest that kind of piqued my interest, and then I also knew it was lighter on my body.
Yes.
Actually, surprisingly, since when were we having this conversation? Almost a year ago, I think it was, that we had had a conversation about like what my goals were with lymphatic.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, since getting my certification and since having a few months of experience with it now, I think my goals have actually changed a bit. I know, surprisingly, but you know, that's just how life is. Like sometimes things that go exactly how you plan for them to. I think lymphatic work has um, such a benefit on the body. The lymphatic system doesn't have a pump itself, so having a manual way to stimulate the lymphatic system is very, very beneficial because the lymphatic system does so much for our bodies. That being said, I since getting into like my corrective exercise, I realized that I do really appreciate the body work that I did before getting into lymphatic work. And I no longer am like as interested in getting into like the post. I was going to do a post-surgical lymphatic course, and so that's basically just more focused on working on people that just had a surgical procedure, whether it's like plastic surgery or you know they just got like a hip replacement or something like that, and then they have all this excess swelling that needs to be drained out. I can perform that work, and I actually do perform that work because it's the same procedure. Um, since performing that work, I'm like, I just don't feel passionate about it. I mean, it is very light on my body, and I appreciate that. And I enjoyed learning about the lymphatic system, and I do plan on actually taking another course next year. But it's just not something that I see myself like really devoting like so much extra time to, and like really like focusing my work on mainly lymphatic because that was my goal initially. Now I'm more so wanting to kind of stay course with what I was doing, with what my initial plan was before was to just kind of get deeper into like the corrective body work, focusing on postural alignment because I think that's like the biggest thing for most people. Like we don't really realize or see it in people's bodies, but a lot of people have these imbalances that are the answer to like a lot of our pain and discomfort.
Oh yeah, that's me right there with the scoliosis.
Mm-hmm.
And even that, like having a very like a misaligned spine can affect so much of your body. And
Yeah, I
like,
mean that's our center, that's our core, you know.
yeah.
Like if our
So,
center is like off balance, everything is off balance.
no, and it's interesting how like even if you have neck pain, it could stem from your lower back pain or like
Mhm.
things happening in your lower back. And sometimes people
Yeah.
just think it's like this one area, but it could be like
Hmm.
your glutes or your lower back, all of that.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
And that's okay, so that's a new goal for you. So that's where you're
Hmm.
heading now, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so
definitely.
like where do you see yourself in like I guess a year to like 5 years? I know
I
it's a
know.
but
No, actually it's not. And as every year that passes by, I just realize that time goes by faster and faster. So I sigh because I'm like, oh, it's
yes.
passing by so quick. Before I know it, 5 years will pass. Um, but I also, like I said, I've been noticing that some of my goals that I had even recently they've adjusted a bit. And so I feel like things are like ever changing, and I'm going through a period of my life where I'm like, "Ah, gosh, I don't know. I don't know, what are my goals. I feel like I was very clear on my goals last year. Now they're kind of changing just a bit, but I definitely want to get more into what I'm already working towards, which is corrective exercise. I am playing a bit with the idea of possibly getting into personal training.
Okay.
Um, I mean, I'll have the certification for it, you know. So I'm playing with the idea of wanting to possibly do personal training because I will have that certification. Um, and so that's something that's on my horizon. But as far as getting my own business, like having my own business and taking private clients, that's definitely something that I still want to do. But I think I'm such a perfectionist about things that I want to do that, but I'm like, I don't feel ready yet. Or I feel like after I get the certification, then I will. So within the next year, I'll be 30 and I will have finished both of the certifications that I currently have on my mind and on my plate to have finished by spring. Um, and it'll be next October. I definitely see myself taking private clients, but not necessarily full time. I think I still like the idea of working under other people because I love the idea of just coming into work and not necessarily having to have like all of my clients. And I do realize it is going to be a building block of me getting clients. It's not going to be like an overnight thing where I'm just working for myself. So still working in a clinical environment. And within the next 5 years, actually, I do want to open up a spa. That's actually been something that I have had on my heart for a little while. but working under, well, it's like more, not so much of a spa. The clinic that I work at, we do clinical work, but my goals and ideas for what I would like to do for myself is along the lines of something that I work for right now. So like a clinical environment that has some spa-like elements to it, because one of the things that I really appreciate about the spa and I think is extremely beneficial for the receiver of the body work is the relaxation element. I think when people are relaxed, their bodies are able to receive some of the deeper work a lot easier because our bodies are relaxed, so the muscles are a lot more pliable. Rather than going into a room where there's like really bright lights and there's not necessarily like any like pleasant smells. Not that there's any like bad smells, but there's just like not any smells. The sheets are wrinkly, like I don't know, like it's just it's just like the aesthetic of things, it matters. And so having a clinical environment where we're doing intentional work on people's bodies, but there's a slight emphasis on relaxation because that is important, pleasant music, just catering to making people feel comfortable, because actually surprisingly enough, a lot of people are subscribed to the idea that massage, as long as it's hurting, and like if it's not hurting, it's not working. So I think
I'm like, oh, I want it to hurt. I'm like,
yeah. And I'm just like, well, it doesn't need to. And actually we don't want to like be damaging any tissues. But re-educating and showing people the importance of when your body's relaxed, you're able to like receive this work with an environment that caters to that. I think it's definitely something that I would like to do. I don't know if that's necessarily on the horizon for me within the next 5 years, maybe a little bit, maybe a few more, maybe like 6 to 7. Because again, I do still want to start my own business, and I do also need to find my tribe of people that I want to work with, and that'll be like a gradual uptick. But that is on my heart and on my soul to make real one day for sure.
yeah, I mean, I feel like most people, like when it comes to businesses and owning businesses, it's like I usually see it like in their late 30s or 40s or even 50s. Like I feel like when
Mm-hmm.
you're in your 30s, you kind of like are starting to understand what you want to do and like you're
Mm-hmm.
achieving those goals. In
Mm-hmm.
your 30 and your 20s, it's like very much exploring. 30s
Yeah.
is getting the foot down, and then 40s, 50s, 60s is like finally accomplishing all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
There's no
Mm-hmm.
timeline, it could be earlier, later, whatever it is, but I see that. I see that for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited for what the future brings.
me too. Yeah, I always sometimes I feel a doubt. I'm like, can I even do this? Like, do I need a business loan? All these like very technical things too, because for me, I also want to own my own business. And yesterday while I
Mm-hmm.
was messaging someone, I was like, I would love to open my own like massage slash cafe slash like workspace, and then I have like a
Yeah.
little room for like kids like to play while their moms are like working in their
That'd be, yeah.
business.
So there's no excuse. Like we'll take care of your kids. You just relax, like have a cup of coffee. Yeah,
There's
that'd be
like a
cute.
place like that in San Diego. It's called, I forgot what it's called, like
Oh,
Lola Bar.
really?
And it's like they do nails, but it's also a cafe, and then they also have like a workspace. And it's catered towards
Oh,
like
nice.
moms, like women and all that stuff.
Do they have like a little daycare part of
Yeah.
it too? That's cute. That's super cute.
I kind of want to do that because I do love like I massage a lot of parents and a lot of moms.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's like a huge thing. And I know moms are like so stressed and dealing with so much. So
I always say I feel like moms need it the most.
I feel like that too. Yeah. I mean, dads too.
Mm,
I feel like for men, they don't really take time to get massages as much.
hmm
They're just like go, go, go.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. So I guess like parents in general, because I feel like they don't take time to get massages, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they don't need them. Like they need them just as much. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's hard
Right.
for me to massage men though sometimes. Like not all men, but some men. I don't know how do you feel like when you massage men? Because their muscles are thicker, they're bigger.
Yeah, for sure. One of the things since getting into the clinic is that I've gotten more comfortable, and not necessarily setting boundaries, just being more realistic about like what the expectations should be for clients. And I've realized that like working with men, I've had to like recommend, if and when they can, let's do, instead of a 60-minute, let's do a 90, because I feel like the density of certain men's like bodies and muscles, I'm like, there's not as much. I mean, 60 minutes, you already know, is like super quick, a super quick amount of time, and it goes by like that. And then when working with a man that has like all of this tension, and they're like, oh, can you work on my shoulders? Can you work on my back? Can you work on my legs and my feet? And I'm like, there's not enough time to like make a difference, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely feel like working on men can be definitely more difficult than certain women. But like I said, I try to be I've learned to like be a little bit more honest and upfront, like in the intake process, and letting them know upfront, like absolutely, like, you know, 60 minutes is like a short amount of time. We'll do what we can. Maybe we can like focus on like one area rather than like all the 4 areas that you want to have worked on today, or we can like slightly brush over all the 4 areas, or we can do what we can today and then try to book a 90, and then we can try to get to more of those areas, or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
So I feel like that helped me calm down a little bit more internally, because when I first started, I was like, we have 60 minutes. They asked for like 4 focus areas. I'm going to try to like, you know,
Yeah.
pull my hair, doing everything that they're asking. And then I'm just like running late and like stressed out. And they're like, you know, they're feeling good, and they like walk out like, oh, that was awesome. I'm gonna always request 60 minutes, because like that person's always gonna work like as hard as that person to like get it done and like give me extra time. And it's like, no, like
You're exhausted.
don't do that to yourself if you're like a new therapist.
Yeah, I feel like 60 minutes is never enough. 50 minutes, all of that. It
Mhm.
feels like 30 minutes to me,
Yeah.
honestly.
Oh my
Like,
gosh. Well, until you start doing 30-minute services, because we offer 30-minute services at the place that I'm at now. And I'm just like, can we not like take me off the schedule for 30-minute service? Like, what can really be done? Honestly,
right.
nothing.
Unless you want to like focus on one area, right?
Yeah. I mean, we can do like stretching. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I personally don't like 30 minutes.
That's crazy. Like, I mean, even 50 minutes when what you used to do, that's
Yeah.
just not enough at all.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
But so you love being a massage therapist, and do
I
you
love
feel
it.
like your lifestyle is different now than what it used to be? Like, what's the lifestyle that you live now?
Oh, definitely. It's much different than what it used to be, because when I was doing office work, I had a very sedentary life, and I realized the vast difference between how I used to live then and now when I actually took my lymphatic course last year. A large portion, I took my lymphatic course through ACOLS, which I have so reviews about. But anyways, I appreciated the information that I got from the course. Most of it was online, and there was a 5-day in-person course, where we'd have to go in every day from 8 to 5. And then at the end of that program, if you graduated, then you got your certificate. While sitting in for the in-person course, oh my gosh, I realized that I am not even used to sitting for, what was it, like it was 8 hours with an hour lunch, right? So it was like sitting for 7 hours a day. I was like, oh my body hurts. Like it just hurts. Like my back hurts just sitting down. Like I was like feeling antsy, and I'm realizing like, oh, I'm not used to doing this all the time. Mind you, I used to sit all the time for work because I'd be working on a computer, um, drinking coffee. I was feeling like exhausted. I was feeling cold. I was feeling restless. I was like feeling like,
Oh my,
my body just wasn't used to sitting still for like so many hours in a row. And then I realized like, oh, I'm normally like walking around all day, like on my feet for like, 5, 6, 7 hours a day, doing massage, talking, and like being engaged, like using my body, like almost like dancing, like when we're, yeah,
yes.
like doing some of the movements for massage. And so I'm like, wow, like I'm used to moving so much more throughout the day. So that's like the number one thing is like, um, just being on my feet and moving
Yeah.
more. And then also having to be a little bit more active to supplement like what I'm doing, like while I'm at work. So I can feel strong enough to like actually be working.
All that stuff, like weights and all that, or
Oh,
like
you said what?
like working out, you mean?
Yes. Yeah. So working out. And I recently started doing more at home workouts, because I feel like that kind of supplements my life. I have like weights and stuff like that, but I've also bought like more like resistance bands as I've gotten into more clinical work and like the corrective exercise, a
Yeah.
course that I'm taking. Starting small is really important. And my mindset has always been like, oh, like I can like, build my way up to like lifting more and more weights. But and even like, though I've kind of gotten to like a certain point with like lifting certain weights and things like that, There's also still a benefit in, just doing like some resistance band work and doing like body weight movements and things like that. So I've been trying to mix it up a little bit more, but yeah, definitely working out was something that I didn't care about doing as much when I was working office jobs.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. Like, I mean, yeah, I used to work like in front of a computer all the time as well. And then I would just be daydreaming about like what I actually wanted to do with my life. Like that's how you
Yeah.
know I'm supposed to be doing that. Like at least
Yeah.
for me. It's like you're
Hmm.
constantly thinking about what else can I do, like, or thinking about your dreams and goals instead of like working. But
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah, no, I love this lifestyle. It's more flexible. Like it's a Friday right now. Do you work today or no?
No, I'm off today.
Okay. And do you work the weekends or no?
No, well, no, not normally. I mean, I picked up a shift tomorrow, but I have Friday through Sunday off, which is like one of my favorite things about working in the clinic is that I kind of pick my schedule, and most people will kind of do, well, there are definitely people that come on Fridays and Saturdays, but we're closed on Sundays. But my group of people is like uh weekday afternoons. So I work Monday through Thursday, 2 to 8. So my typical person will come in around those times, like after work-ish.
See, that's what I love. Like our schedules are also like it's not 9 to 5. It's like from 2 to 8 or like 12 to
Hmm.
4. Like our
Hmm.
life is
Yeah.
very flexible. We can do what we want with our time off of work.
Yeah.
Exercise, we try to be healthy.
Hmm.
I see you in your Instagram stories, you going to like hot tubs, eating sushi. I love
Yeah.
that.
After party is hard as I work.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, it's all about
Yeah.
the enjoying life too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, thank you so much. I learned so much about like your goals and especially clinical massage because I don't know too much about that. And
Mhm.
maybe I'll get into that someday. I really have no idea. Like, I don't know right now what I want to do, honestly. Like, I have my private clients and I love
Mhm.
doing that. And I feel like I should have more like certificates. So I guess we'll put down in the description like what websites you went to for that. So you went to what was the certificates again? Like or what websites was it? What did you get it from?
Yeah, I went through ACOLS for my lymphatic training. Honestly, like I said, I was like a little so-so on that. I didn't have like the greatest experience once I tried to sign up for an additional course. So I don't know if I'd recommend it, but that's the website that I went through. So it's actually the Academy of Lymphatic Studies, but the acronym is ACOLS, ACOLS.
Okay.
Um, I'm looking into taking another lymphatic course at a local massage college here I think it's in Oakland,
Mhm.
at Mckinnon. They have I think it's like a 2 or 3 month course where you're actually in person. You get to be talking about these things, having discussions about these things, asking teachers about these things. So that's a little bit more my speed because, like I mentioned, ACOLS was primarily online, and then you have like 5 days where you were in person, and everything was like very fast paced for those 5 days.
Yeah.
Um, as far as as far as lymphatic stuff, that's where I have been looking into and got my certifications. And then for the personal training and corrective exercise, I went through NASM.
Okay.
I
That's
think that's a newer certification for me. So I think it's like National Academy of Science and Medicine or something like that. But NASM is like pretty popular, so you should be able to find that easily.
okay. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So I'll put that in the description down below for anyone who's interested in those courses or just any extra like massage courses because I don't know, I haven't taken any yet. So
I
we'll
can see
see.
you doing lymphatic work. I
Really?
think you'd be perfect for it. Yeah. It's like a very light type of work. A lot of women come in for that work. There's not, honestly, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, there's really not a lot of men that get that work, but I think everybody could use that. Because, like I said, the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump. And so
Okay.
having someone kind of stimulate the lymphatic system can be very beneficial for so many reasons. But yeah, no, I could definitely see you doing something like that. I
We'll
think that would
see.
help
Yeah.
you. So.
I'm like in a very confused state right now. But you know what? You'll have those moments, right?
Yeah, exactly. I actually feel like that's why I was like, I don't know if this is like the right time to do this interview because I feel like I said, I feel like I'm in like a middle place with like my goals. Like some of them are kind of changing. I'm realizing like as I'm getting more information and stuff like that. So I feel you, girl.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean I'm excited and I can't wait to do more massage, but also it's that
Yeah.
tug. for me, especially like as a woman, it's like, I don't want to give up my career at all, but it's like, I also want to just like be a mom and
Mhm.
and like have my whole energy be on like having a baby someday and having
Yeah.
kids, all
Be
that
a
stuff.
mom with your baby for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
so I don't know, but like, so I've just been in a weird state of mind, but I love like also I love highlighting massage therapists and I love bringing this career into the social media space and like
mhm.
hearing other stories because I think it's really inspiring too.
Yeah. And I appreciate that about you too. I watched the other interview with the guy
Elton,
had on. It was like a few months ago.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
being able to like see different people, because I mean, his is different from mine, you know what I mean? So being able to see different people's journeys throughout massage therapy and how it can be so different for other people that are considering getting into the industry, I think is really helpful. So I appreciate the work that you're doing. I think it's awesome that you're bringing it to the internet because honestly, when I was wanting to do massage therapy, I was looking on a lot of YouTube videos and things like that, and there aren't a lot of videos. It, and some of the videos that are on there are like from like 10 years ago. And so it's like, is it
Oh,
even relevant, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, thank you so much, and thank
Mhm.
you for coming onto my channel. Is there anywhere that people can reach you, or if they have any questions, or is it just your email?
Um, just my email. I know I'm like super, not super private because my account is public, but I'm not like super like wanting people to contact me until I make like a
Okay, no
business
problem.
Instagram, and I haven't made that yet because like I said I'm kind of like lagging on my business stuff because I'm like just work I'm in like employee mode I guess,
All right,
but
okay. So if anyone has questions, comment down below, and then I will probably text you if they have any questions for you.
yes, definitely, yeah, and then we can like set up an email where we can like do a little bit more one-on-one.
Yes. Okay, perfect. So yeah, any questions down below, just comment. And yeah, thank you so much. I have work in 10
Awesome.
minutes, so or I have to leave
Okay,
in a
sorry,
minute.
thank you so much. I really enjoyed working with you, and it's nice to see you in your interviewer bag, so this is awesome.
Thank you so much. All right, I'll see you later.
Okay, bye, have a good day.
And don't forget to check out the link below for up to 35% off your favorite jewelry pieces.